The last thing I'm gonna say about the old Shedeur Sanders situation. Last thing I'm gonna say, because it's crazy that if you speak your opinion and it's not the same as other people, they're quick to call you a coon. Now I can't say I ain't did people like that before, because sometimes I feel like it's unnecessary. But I think we have to speak the truth about what happened in the draft. It's bringing me, it's putting me in mind of the whole Black Panther situation. I feel like when the recast T'Challa situation came about, a lot of people didn't want to recast because they was like, Chadwick Boseman was this great legendary actor and he did so much and nobody can do this. But they didn't take in consideration that this is a character that existed before Chadwick was even born. This is a character that people had been waiting on to be on the big screen for over 30 years, literally. Like this is a character that the comic is centered around. It's not centered around Wakanda. It's not centered around Okoye. It's not centered around the Dora Milaje. They didn't take that into consideration because a lot of those were just fans of seeing black representation on TV. That's all they was just happy to see African royalty on TV and black people presented in this way. They were so excited about that. That's all that they cared about. That's why they like, you know what? We still got Wakanda. You know what? We still got a Shuri. You know what? Make M'Baku be the king. Make him be the Black Panther. Even though in the comics, that's literally like Chadwick's or T'Challa's arch rival. Like, he's evil. He hates Black Panther. They just turned good in the movie. That's neither here nor there. But let me get back to where I was going. A lot of us have followed Shedeur and Deion Sanders and Shiloh and Bucky and Shalawam, I think Shalami or however you say her name, and even his ex-wife. We followed them for a long time since they had their reality show. We followed the kid playing Little League football, high school ball. We followed him at Jackson State and Colorado. We've been rooting. It's been an atmosphere where you've had entertainers, rappers. You've had a lot of Deion's friends in the media always bragging about Colorado and Shedeur getting these weapons and Travis Hunter. Like, we've been absorbing that because we've been rooting for that because a lot of us like Deion personally. And we like the story. We just act like there's no other black quarterbacks in the draft, like one didn't go number one in the draft. One that has his mother and father in his life, like Shedeur, even though his father's not Deion. We're going to act like there's no other black coaches in college football. And we've been acting like that. You can't bring that up without somebody feeling like you're attacking Deion or you're going against your own race. That's not what we're doing at all. We're just mentioning it. We're just bringing it to your attention because sometimes people forget they act like that. It's just that those other black coaches don't have Gilly and Wallow on the sideline, or Lil Wayne, or 2 Chainz, or Future. They or the Migos. They just don't have that on the sidelines. And a lot of us don't focus on the draft who do like sports. We don't pay attention to the draft. We don't pay attention to college football. I was having this conversation with my brother. He was bringing up the wars that Shedeur won. And I told him, I said, listen, me personally, I feel like Shedeur is a first-round quarterback. And I feel like he's won on accuracy and intelligence, but his physical traits don't say first round quarterback. They just don't. If as a person who has followed the draft ever since I was a little kid, his physical traits don't say that. So it's going to be everything around him that brought that to the table, like what type of leader he is, his personality. Can he, can he operate in different offenses and different flows? How do he retain knowledge? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be all of that. And I'm not saying he doesn't have that. But having a superstar dad and doing rap videos and, you rocking your big chains and you throwing your watches. And I know that can't be all the way a detriment because in the NFL, if your talent is great enough, they don't care about none of that. But if they think you have mediocre talent and it was going to be everything else about you that pushed you into the first round, then those negative stuff pushed you out. And I think that's what happened to Shedeur. I think teams or the NFL, like I said in my last video, they viewed him as a first, second round type of guy. They viewed this as a weak draft. So that pushed him up. You know what I'm saying? If they would have thought of him the way they thought of Eli or Payton or, like I said, Cam Newton or Andrew Luck or even last year Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, it wouldn't matter. But they didn't think of Shedeur like that. They thought of Shedeur more like a Alex Smith type of guy. You know what I'm saying? A Geno Smith type of guy. Like even Drew Brees coming out. It's the extra stuff around Drew Brees that made Drew Brees one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. It's not his physical traits. So with that being said, Shedeur needed to have a clean presentation when he went to the combine, a clean presentation when he was dealing with teams. And I think Shedeur came into the draft and he wanted to market who he was outside of being a football player. And that hurt him. That hurt him. You know, his dad is famous for showing up at the combine, didn't even take his sweats off, went out there, ran a 4.2 and ran out the door and said, talk to my agent. Deion could do that because Deion was a generational talent. They hadn't seen a cat that fast, that quick, that talented playing cornerback in a long time. Shedeur's a good quarterback, but he's not. They didn't see him as that type of person. Now, he might get into the NFL and prove them wrong, just like they looked at Tom Brady and they didn't think Tom Brady would be the greatest quarterback at all time. He fell all the way to the 6th round. Shedeur could get in there and prove them people wrong. But in the meantime, that rock star personality, that rock star lifestyle, even though I don't think Shedeur necessarily lives there, but their presentation of being like a rock star, a rap, I'm a rap on the side, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. White, black, blue, green, or purple. The NFL do not like their quarterbacks to be that way. They don't. They want a guy who's like, I want to come in, learn the playbook. I'm nothing without my line. My receivers said they want a guy like that. I'm gonna do da. They want that guy. Now, if you have superstar potential, or you're a superstar, they'll accept some things about you. They'll let it go. They wouldn't give a damn if you came in looking like. They wouldn't care if you came in looking like, what's my boy with? I don't know why it's slipping my mind. I'm ready to go to sleep. But yeah, they wouldn't care if you came in looking like Slick Rick the Ruler. You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care, but they didn't view Shedeur that way. They viewed him as just a good quarterback, not a franchise-changing guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all can take that how y'all want. A lot of black people, you know, they so invested and so emotionally tied to the story of Deion and Shedeur. They done say, oh, this is spiritual. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's racism and it's spiritual. It's the devil. This is not the devil. It is because Deion chose to market move with his son and market his son like he was Cam Newton. That's all it was. He chose to move like he had Michael Vick. And the NFL just didn't view Shedeur in that manner, and they made him drop. They left a sour taste in people's mouths. So when whatever scout that was that came out and said that Shedeur came in and his attitude rubbed people the wrong way, and it was like he's not even that good, I don't feel like they were saying he was trash. I think they just saying he came in and acted like he was a superstar stud. And he may be to the black community, but as pure football players, people, he's just a football player. They don't care about Future and 2 Chainz being at the games and him rapping and him having a reality. They don't care about that. That's extra stuff. That's look at Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is out the league for a few reasons. Now, he lost his damn mind by now, but it's a few reasons. I remember Mike Tomlin kept having to tell him to get off TikTok and quit putting that stuff quit showing it, him talking after the games on live. And he just wouldn't listen. He just felt like him being a superstar outside the game was bigger than that. And they put up with it for a while because of his talent. But they got tired of him and they moved him. I think these young kids get into what's fair and what's not fair and think they're going to change it just because in their head they feel like I'm right and they're wrong and it should be okay that I should be. Ja Morant is learning that lesson. I'm not shooting no guns. I ain't never shot nobody. Why do they have a problem with you doing gun motions or being You know how the league is ran. You know how it's ran, and it has nothing to do with racism or anything else. It's just structured on discipline and marketability. You know what I'm saying? It's not the military, but it has a hierarchy where people, you have to listen to coaches, owners. You know what I'm saying? Like it's structured. It's not for you to run wild and for you to just, this is for my... I hope some of the young people get what I'm saying. I remember when I was young and I used to want to go here on my do-rag and my mom used to get, man, you look like a thug, you like a hoodlum. I'm like, I'm just going to the store. I didn't understand. I understand now. And hopefully Shedeur do too. Show you.